Right, so, welcome back to another video on this channel, another boring video for you lot, another game where Manchester City have claimed 3 points in the Premier League and potentially risen the gap to 13 points if somehow United and Leicester were to both lose their games this weekend, but nevertheless they're getting one step closer every single week to retaining their Premier League title that Liverpool took from them last season with a 2-1 hard-fought win over West Ham at the Etihad Stadium, and of course that is the game we are going to be analysing right now. So yeah, firstly, in terms of Manchester City's performance, I thought that they controlled the majority of the game. I think that, they just didn't look that sharp in the final third as they usually do, even though they did score 2 goals. Was the 2 centre-backs that actually scored them the goals, which, just says anything you need to know about Manchester City this season, because those 2 centre-backs in Ruben Dias and John Stones, they've just been absolutely brilliant. They've blown everybody away with how good they've been, especially John Stones, who we thought was finished in a City shirt, and Ruben Dias comes back into the team and completely rejuvenates him, and the two of them have just been solid as a rock all season, and I think they definitely did deserve to be, the main shining lights and the main headline takers in this game with the goals they got. They definitely deserved it with the way they've been playing this season. And yeah, we'll start off with Ruben Dias' goal to make it 1-0, and to be honest, I think David Moyes in particular will be extremely frustrated with this one, because West Ham are known to be a very dominant team in the air, and they will not want to concede goals like this whatsoever, because it's kind of their bread and butter, really. I mean, it was one ball into the box from Kevin De Bruyne, given, it was a very, very good ball into the box. Ruben Dias unmarked and met it perfectly, and, too much power for Darren Randolph to handle in the West Ham goal, and yeah, I just think it was a really frustrating goal, a really bad goal to concede from West Ham's point of view, considering the fact that that's one thing they probably have over Manchester City is that dominance in the air, and yeah, City did go 1-0 up, but then, towards the end of the second half, I think City kind of took their foot off the pedal a little bit, kind of looked a little bit lax, and I think the second goal was coming, the equaliser for West Ham was coming, because I think City were, a little bit lax in the ball, a little bit sloppy in terms of transition, a little bit sloppy in trying to get the ball from defence to midfield, and yeah, they won the ball back in the middle of the park. Jesse Lingard free in the box, really sloppy defending to first of all leave Jesse Lingard free in the box, so I think is, has to be marked in that situation, because one of Lingard's main strengths actually is his positioning and his awareness to get into the right places at the right times. And then Antonio with a real poacher's finish into the box, 1-1, and Mikel Antonio getting West Ham back on level terms as we went into the half-time break. And yeah, definitely deserved, because even though, as I said already, City controlled the game for the majority of the first half especially, and then towards the end of the second half, or the first half I should say, kind of got a little bit lax, got a little bit, I'd say, complacent to a certain extent, and West Ham of course did deserve their equaliser in the end of the first half. But yeah, then in the second half, West Ham, who can prove to be such a difficult team to play against. I mean, they're extremely resolute, extremely organised at the back, but not only that, lots of energy, lots of guile, lots of spark going forward as well, and they have a lot of good players in their starting 11 that work for each other and just run their socks off for the entire game. And for the majority of the game, they sat deep, waited for the chances on the counter-attack, which to be honest I don't really blame with them whatsoever, because I think you'd be delusional to think that you're going to match Manchester City, especially the City team who have been 19 games unbeaten in all competitions before today's game. I think you'd just be absolutely delusional to think that you're going to match them in terms of possession on the ball and chances going forward as well. So yeah, West Ham, who proved to be such a difficult team, were finally broken down halfway through the second half. John Stones, an emphatic finish, the other centre-back getting on the score sheet for Manchester City, and in my opinion, my man of the match in this game. I thought that once again he showed how much he's improved. I mean, he's just been, as I said earlier on in the video, I mean, completely rejuvenated, because it looked like he was in the wilderness in this Manchester City team. But yeah, Kevin De Bruyne switches the ball out to Riyad Mahrez, who shifts onto his left foot, cut back to John Stones, who absolutely buries it on his right foot. A very good finish and a deserved winner for Manchester City once again, who have extended their run 20 games in all competitions, 14 of those wins coming in the Premier League. It's just an absolutely extremely good run, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if Manchester City were to win every single game between now and the end of the season, especially with the fact that there's only 11 games left in the Premier League, and at this moment in time, I don't think anybody can really find any signs of weakness for them whatsoever. It doesn't look like they're ever going to drop points, let alone, lose a match altogether, which is just absolutely mental considering the fact that at the start of the season, and of course for the whole of last season, they look like they've lost that desire, that, drive to win trophies and win individual matches. They've really got that back this season, as I've said in this channel multiple times, and I think Pep Guardiola was one, especially by me as well on this channel, that was massively disregarded at the start of this season, after especially the 5-2 defeat against Leicester City at the Etihad and the 2-0 defeat to Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium early on in the season. But since that game, they've completely turned their fortunes around. They've been absolutely brilliant, and they're going to be 100% deserved Premier League champions this season in about 2 months' time. And yeah, I think today just proves once again the sheer resilience of this Manchester City side, because yeah, as I said, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if they were to win, every game to the end of the season. Now obviously that probably won't happen, but if it does, it wouldn't shock me whatsoever whatsoever. That's how good and resilient and just amazing going forward and defensively and just extremely balanced. I just don't know how else I can describe this Manchester City team. I'm really running out of superlatives for this Manchester City team, I'm not gonna lie. And one thing that extremely does impress me about this Manchester City team under Pep Guardiola this season, they just know when they've won games, and it's almost like they decide when they think that they've won a game. It's almost like they just go, yeah, when they score 2 goals, I think you just have to accept that you've lost the game. The game is done because they're just so solid defensively. I've said this for weeks and weeks and weeks now about Manchester City. If you can see 2 goals to them, I think the game is done, because with the way they are defensively, they don't ever look like they're going to score, and yeah, it's just a real confidence booster for them, and the complete opposite for the teams playing against them. Also as well, very good to see that Sergio Aguero back into the team. Good to see him come back to the team after a long run without it, and yeah, the last actually Premier League start he had, I don't think he's actually started a Premier League game this season, but yeah, he didn't look sharp whatsoever, but I think that was very much expected. He does need a few weeks at bare minimum to get back up to speed and get back into, you know, the sharpness of this Manchester City team. But yeah, we will get on to West Ham, because as much as I want to praise Manchester City for their performance this season as well as today, I think that West Ham, there's definitely positives to take, because I really do like West Ham, even being a Chelsea fan, and to be honest, I think the one thing I could use to actually, you know, praise this West Ham team is the fact that I am a Chelsea fan, and I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm actually happy that Manchester City beat West Ham, because it's actually a good result for Chelsea, which I think is the main thing we could actually use to complement this West Ham team, especially with 11 games left. Actually, you know, seeing City beating West Ham at home is actually a good result for Chelsea, which I just think, yeah, absolutely compliments them massively. I don't think I could compliment them anymore after that. But yeah, I think one thing that David Moyes has got absolutely spot on at this West Ham team is building a team of players that firstly have a point to prove, and secondly, buying players from, you know, the lower leagues, kind of more obscure leagues in Europe and in England as well. Jesse Lingard, who had a point to prove after that Manchester United thing, I think he looked bright at spells today, really has been reinvigorated at this West Ham team and proven a lot of people wrong, and not even myself, because I think a lot of people fell into the meme of Jesse Lingard, you know, the meme on social media of J Lings and all this stuff that he never plays, he's a rubbish footballer or whatever. I've always rated Jesse Lingard, and I knew there was a good football in there. It's just someone needs to uncover that, someone needs to get him a good run of games, and that's exactly what David Moyes has done, and my word is he reaping the benefits, because he has been absolutely brilliant so far for West Ham and will continue to do so probably beyond this season. I think Vladimir Koufal as well, an absolute coup in the summer. I mean, I really like him, suits David Moyes' system down to the ground, runs himself into the ground every single week. £5 million he cost from Slavia Prague in the summer, an absolutely incredible piece of business, pacey and also good going the other way as well in terms of his defensive ability. So yeah, I really like him. Michail Antonio as well, if you're a fan of this channel long term, you'll know how much I rate this guy. Another one who gives absolutely everything, did his job well today, ran his socks off, and he's just a handful for defenders because he's quick, he never gives you a moment's rest, he's, you know, physical. I think he has literally every aspect you would want, or not want I should say, in a defender coming up against him. But yeah, next weekend is the big game for Manchester City. They do play Wolves at the Etihad in midweek, but of course they have that Manchester derby once again at the Etihad next weekend, and that'll be a real test, because obviously, you know, they'll still win the league, don't get me wrong, but it could see them lose their winning run in the Premier League. And yeah, I think that is where we're going to leave this video now. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like. 20 likes as per usual would be massively appreciated by myself, and also if you could subscribe to the channel, that would also be massively appreciated, because we are now looking to hit 1,500 subscribers on this channel as soon as we possibly can. So if you were to hit that subscribe button right now, it would cost you absolutely nothing and would make my day, so it is very much a win-win situation. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Manchester City have retained their lead at the top of the Premier League table with a 2-1 hard-fought victory over West Ham at the Etihad this Saturday lunchtime kickoff. And yeah, see ya.